Hey, welcome to one of our sessions here on how to use hydrotherapy effectively. And I'm going to be showing you how to use what we call the Russian steam bath, a portable unit that's quite inexpensive, something that will last for years and so easy to use. So I'm going to take a few minutes to just show you how to put it together and get it here out of the box. So this unit is all packed in one little box here, and we're just going to get it out and show you some of the pieces, and then I'm going to show you how easy to put it together. I won't tell you what these are yet, I will show you in a minute, but these are some of the parts to the steam unit that we're going to be trying out today. The whole unit that you sit in is actually right in this little bag here. Once you get it out, you have to be very clever to get it back in again. I don't generally bother. I'll tell you why later. It comes with its own stool. It has a little slot. I'll take that out in a minute. And inside the box, we also have its own little chair that you can use in the unit as soon as I get it together here for you. And it just comes with everything you need to do a good steam treatment. So let's go ahead now, and I'm going to put this unit together for you. Well, we're just taking this out of the little bag that I showed you earlier, and maybe all of us have had these window shades that have wires in them, and you open them up and they spring open. This has that on the two sides of the tent. This is going to be a tent that you get inside of and sit down, and we're going to have a steam treatment. So it's probably going to take us about 15 minutes to set this up. We'll take some little lapses in between and make it faster for you, but let's go ahead and get started. We need to get this thing so it's firm, and so the walls of the side are fine, but we need some cross pieces to hold it together. And there's 4 pieces that we'll take. They come in 2 pieces each, so we're going to insert one with a hub or a connector to the other one. And I'm just going to tip it forward and do the back first. So there's a Velcro here, and then you slide it through there, nothing too complicated. That takes care of the back. And we'll take one for the front, the top. Also again, we'll connect the two together. Open the Velcro. There's a seamed pocket for us to go across. And keep that spread back. And it's quite simple, and it really does hold it out when we're done. We've got the back, both top and bottom. Now we'll get the front bottom. And we take another unit. And we thread it in the pocket that goes across. And send that over. Now we have 3 sides supported, and notice it's freestanding. And we've got one more cross piece to put in, and we're going to put that in a little later because it tends to get in the way when you're trying to get in and out if it's all connected. So we'll come back to that in just a moment. Okay, next we're going to look at what goes on the inside. Okay, now we're ready to put some of the equipment on the inside. There's not a whole lot to do, but first of all, we've got this nice little felt mat. I'm quite impressed with it because it allows you to be able to catch any moisture that's from the steam in there and hold it off the floor of the tent so that if you're on a carpet or tile, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to have a wet floor. So we're going to just lay that in here. It basically fits the bottom, and there she be. Then we're going to go ahead next and assemble our diffuser. The diffuser is what it says. It will be here. We're going to put on a rubber hose that will come from the little cooker that makes the steam. And so that's that part. We're going to take a little bit of cotton and we're going to put it inside the diffuser with a few drops of eucalyptus oil so that as it steams, it will be able to smell very good and be very good for helping to open up the nasal passages. It's all about wanting to breathe better. So we've got a little cotton here in the bottom, and here's our eucalyptus, essential eucalyptus oil, and I'm going to just let it get a few drops onto the cotton. Now we have it in the bottom there. We put the lid on. If you can see it a little closer, or at least I can point it out to you, the diffuser has holes all the way around it, so a little bit of steam comes out all around so it isn't strong in one area. And I've used the longest, there's two hoses. I used the longest one for the diffuser on the inside. So I'm going to lay it right in the middle, and I'm going to connect it to the port here that's on the side of the unit. And then on the other side, we'll be connecting the cooking pot. So let's look at that. So here is the heating unit, or we call it the cooking pot. It boils, it makes the steam. Very easy to use, and has good controls. We'll explain in just a moment. So in order to have that hooked up, we will take the lid, and out of the lid is the connecting port. Slide on the short tube there, and then I try to think of the orientation of the front, and so when this unit is along the side here, I want this to be pointing toward the tent. So we'll be putting it, when we put it on, we're going to put it on here, and it just takes about a third of a turn or less than a quarter of a turn, and it's locked on there. And then we'll put it down and connect it on the outside. We'll be plugging it in just a minute, and then we'll be ready to let it start getting warm and get the steam ready, and then we'll show you. Okay, we're all set up now, and we're going to add the towel, a nice clean towel here, to the chair. It makes it a little bit nicer for sitting on it, and especially when you're going to be perspiring a lot. So we'll put that on there, and doesn't want to go clear to the floor. I want the steam to be able to go around freely. And just before I get my volunteer for the treatment, let me mention that when you get the unit here from Amazon or Wish, it has instructions how to set the unit up, but it doesn't tell you how to do a treatment. So on our website, Living Naturally Today, you can download a PDF file of how to use this for a treatment like we're following today. How long to do it, how hot to do it, when to change, when to use the cold, all that's on this paper. Okay, we'll go ahead and ask our volunteer to come on over. This is going to be Lanny, and we're so glad that you're willing. We're going to get you a really good treatment today. Why don't you just step right in and make yourself comfortable. Try out the chair, and let me just adjust the steam for a second. There. I'll push it back a little bit because we don't want to get the back of the feet. Okay, how are you doing? Good start? All right. We're going to go ahead and slip this one in now that you're here, because they tend to fall out otherwise. That's the only one that's a little bit challenging. We'll put it over there and connect them. Now we have nice cross support, and we're zipping it up. Now, our audience can't tell, but you're getting some steam in there. I can feel it right here.
I can feel it.
Yeah. I think you're getting some color already. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just trying too hard. But I think we're off to a good start. There's a little Velcro here to put around the neck. A couple of points. Remember, I put in the eucalyptus oil, and what I like to do, because when we're dealing with flu, COVID, or whatever kind of virus, congestion is often part of the problem. And so the eucalyptus oil helps us to breathe better. You can actually dip your nose down a little bit in there and just push that up a bit and deep breathe some of that as well occasionally and take advantage of it there. Okay, then it's very important that as this treatment progresses, we keep the head cool. You will not want to tolerate this treatment very long if you just feel overwhelmed with the heat. He's got steam all around him from head to neck. I mean, from foot to neck is what I was trying to say. And we need to keep the head cool. In almost all hydrotherapy treatments, we keep the head cool. And so I'm going to start out with a washcloth. We've got some ice in cold water, and we're going to go ahead and get the washcloth wet. Then I'm going to wring out the excess. I'm not trying to make it really dry because I want to have as much of the coldness contact his skin, and he is going to enjoy that for sure. We'll get a report on that in just a minute. You starting to heat up down there?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, how does that feel?
That's good.
Okay. Now, many protocols just mention about doing it on the head. But having been through this a lot myself and a COVID recoverer, I can tell you it's not enough. If we're gonna go more than 15 minutes and up to 25, you want all the cooling of the head, neck, and upward. So I like to take, in this case, a hand towel. I'm going to put that in the water the same way and get it wet, just like we do the washcloth, but this will go around the neck. So it's nice to have the hand towel. It gives a little bit more space. This to me is the best part, more than even the washcloth, because it is completely around the neck. So I'm going to put it around the front first, wrap it behind him, and just lay it over itself. How's that?
Cold.
Cold?
It feels
Cold,
good though.
but it feels good,
Yes.
Sure. Okay. Well, you look great in there. I hope everything's going to be all right. So, whenever we do a treatment, we realize that they're very simple, but we do know that God is the great healer. And so we like to have a prayer whenever we give a treatment because we're just working with God. We're enhancing the natural immune system. We're raising a bit of perspiration. We're cleansing the tissue. He's possibly had a bit of a fever. People sometimes ask, well, I thought we tried to get rid of fevers. Well, actually fevers are God's way of actually solving some of the viruses that we're dealing with. A very high fever is a problem. But if a person's fever is less than 102, we still do this treatment. And very often afterwards, when they rest, their temperature comes down. So let's have a prayer. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the privilege of using natural remedies and also asking that you would bless them as we take this time together and pray that it will be effective for healing. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so I don't want to get carried away and busy on my own. Now, as soon as he's in there, I either need to look down here at the timer that is rotating between the settings and mark the time that we start and then count down from that, or probably the easiest thing is just to go ahead and put it on my phone and time it that way so I can see the minutes going by. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to just put my timer on. That's not the one I want. There we go. So we're going to do a little timing. And I'm going to add 2 minutes to that he's already been in there. Okay, now I'm going to do the neck again. About every 2 minutes I like to change this out so that it continually keeps me cool. Now, remember we started on the highest setting, and that's still on full steam, you might actually say. We're going to bump that down now, and for a man, and like for myself too, I just move it down to about P7, and then maybe 5 minutes or more, I'll put it down to P5. If I'm doing my wife, I'll just take it from the highest setting down to P5, and we do have a little freestanding control here. And if you do have to get pretty close to it, so So we're going to go ahead and see if we can use that and drop down to P7. And let's remember to do P5 in about 5 minutes. And then it's just kind of an average level of steam coming through. Okay? So get this down on your neck. So forth. The details of how to do this, how long to do this, are all in the handout. Okay, well, now we've had about 5 minutes more. I'm going to go ahead and bring our temperature down to just the medium level, which is P5. So we give it 2 squeezes, and you can see the meter there, and it says P5. So that's the level we're going to go at the rest of the treatment. I'm going to do a change out of the colds now. We're more than 5 minutes into the treatment. And depending on how the person is, if they're quite sick, we just have to kind of keep in touch with them as to how they're feeling, if they're not getting overheated or anxious. And that's why this is very important to be faithful on changing. We're hoping for at least 15 minutes in here. And I know when I do a treatment, I often go 20, and the maximum is 25. We're not trying to set world records. We just want to get a good treatment and a good sweat.
That towel is very comfortable.
Is it? It's welcome, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Okay? Well, you're doing really well. Things are going well. And let's go ahead and take a break before, in the middle here of our treatment, I've got some nice cool water for you. It's got zippers for left hand and right hand, so let's try that. See if you can handle a good drink. I imagine it's going to feel pretty good at this point. Nice and cold water. Want to keep the body well hydrated because we're losing fluids through the sweating. Pretty refreshing?
Oh, it's awesome.
Great. And we'll just zip you back in.
Just what I needed.
Okay. Okay, well, you've done very well, and we've been in here just about a little over 20 minutes, and I think we're going to go ahead and not push it. You're doing really good, but you're not sick, you're just our volunteer,
right.
So, well, it's not exactly the same, is it?
No.
But you got the real treatment.
Yeah, it feels
So
good.
let's see how you're doing, as you can come out here in a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the machine, so we don't need to have that going on right now. I like to let the cooker sit there about 5 minutes before I do anything with it. We're going to get our volunteer out, so it'll be sitting there for a while. Let it cool down some before we take the lid off. And I take it in the kitchen and empty it and let it dry out and so forth. All right, so in order to get you out, we're going to take this down this far. Now we're going to take that apart. I'm just going to get this out of the way so it won't fall. Then you're just going to go out over here. And we'll let you come out and we'll get you a towel. Oh, sorry, I meant to do that first. Okay, you're good help. And if someone was sick, you want to make sure that they're doing fine. Whoa, this fellow's going to be mighty pink. Go ahead and step out here. And is there some excess sweat there?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Let's turn around a little bit. Look at the color on the back. You can see that all the way on the neck. So he's gotten a really, really good treatment. You deserve a towel. And now, if we were doing this at home, in your bedroom or nearby, we would go ahead and let you dry off a bit, but then we would take a nice clean sheet, put it on the bed so that you don't get it damp. You go ahead and lay on the sheet, get covered up where you're comfortable, and just take at least a 30-minute to an hour break. That lets the treatment continue. We don't want to terminate it right away because we're looking to kill the viruses. Then after that's done and you're had your 30 minutes or so and you're ready to get up, then you take a shower and get cleaned up again. So that's it. Thank you so much for helping us.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Okay. All right, well, we had a really good volunteer that and gave us a good result, so you can see exactly how this unit can be so effective. We'll go ahead and look at how we put it away. we're going to take the towel that he was sitting on out, and we're going to go ahead and remove the chair. And it's not that wet from the steam. That's great. I would take the diffuser off. I'm going to just do that momentarily. Loosen the tubing. Now it's still hot, so I want to be careful. I would just take it over to the sink and set it in and let it cool down. I'm just trying to deal with how to do with the unit afterwards. I folded up the mat like that, and I'm going to take the mat and I would take it in a utility sink, and I would get it just washed out by hand and hang it up to dry. Then I can take a clean towel and wipe the moisture from the steam off of the cabinet, a little bit on the floor, or if you want, if you're going to use it for somebody else, you could use an antiseptic spray on it and wipe it down. Periodically, I like to take the whole unit just like this outside in the sunshine and let the natural sunlight clean it as well. So it's very simple. At my house, we like to keep this unit set up so that it's ready to use anytime we come home and we feel we've been exposed to a lot of public. We might just jump in there and take a treatment before we go to bed and a shower. What do you do with it? Do you ever try to get it back in the box? I don't. We leave it in the guest room set up once it's all dried and clean. But if you didn't want to do that and you want it more out of sight, you don't have all the space, but you want to put it back in the little box, you can take your cross pieces out and it will completely sandwich together. You know, when those cross pieces are out, you can stick it under the bed or behind the couch if you don't want to keep it up in the guest room. And that way it's ready to use anytime you need it. Thanks for watching, and I hope that if you need it, it'll be a blessing for you.